Welcome. Let's begin. The unseen passenger. The long, desolate road stretched endlessly before him. David gripped the wheel tighter, exhaustion gnawing at his senses. The darkness of the night seemed to swallow everything around him, leaving only the narrow strip of highway illuminated by his headlights. Just a few miles, he thought, his eyelids heavy. Suddenly, bang, the car jolted violently, the tires skidding as if he had hit something. Heart pounding, David slammed on the brakes. He stumbled out of the car, staring at the road behind him. Nothing, no blood, no body, just the eerie silence of the empty road and the cool wind biting at his skin. The only evidence was a dent in the front bumper. There was nothing. Shaken, he got back into the car, telling himself it was probably a stray animal or something small he missed. The road stretched on, more ominous, the silence becoming oppressive. David's eye darted to the clock. 15 minutes had passed. How? He could have sworn it was only a few seconds since the crash. Another thud, this time louder, and followed by a piercing scream that echoed in the night. David slammed the brakes again, his pulse racing, and the scream lingered in his ears. He jumped out, adrenaline coursing through his veins, scanning the road for any sign of life. Once again, nothing. No blood, no body, but another dent, this time on the side of the car. His mind raced. How could this be happening? He carried on driving down the road, again confused. 15 minutes had gone by without him realizing. He barely had time to think before flashing lights appeared in the rearview mirror. Police.
Sir, you were speeding.
The officer said coldly as he inspected the front of the car.
Where'd this dent come from?
David's thoughts tightened. I hit something, but there was no one. Nobody. Nothing, I swear. The officer expressed darkened.
Pop the trunk.
David hesitated, but complied. Knowing he had nothing to hide, the trunk creaked open, revealing the last thing he could have ever expected. Two bodies, wrapped in plastic, neatly laid out, with cleaning supplies next to them. The stench of death filled the air. David's mind screamed. He staggered back, eyes wide with horror. That's not possible. I don't know how they got there. The officers were on him before he could move, his arms yanked behind his back. The cuffs bit into his wrist as the reality of the scene washed over him. It was impossible. There was no way he hadn't killed anyone. Hours later, sitting in the sterile walls of the interrogation room, a psychiatrist entered.
David, you're not alone.
She began, voice calm yet chilling.
You're not the only one behind the wheel.
His confusion turned to dread as she explained the truth. David had dissociate identity disorder. Another personality, Ryan, had taken over for years. A predator, a killer. The missing 15 minutes, the bloodless hits. They were no accident. Ryan had been running down victims, disposing of them, and burying the evidence. David never knew, never remembered, but now the truth was unraveling, and there was no escape. The realization hit him harder than any crash ever could. The bodies, the screams, it was all of him, or nothing, or rather, it was Ryan lurking behind the wheel, waiting for his next chance to kill. As the cell door slammed behind him, David finally understood there was no road long enough to outrun the darkness within. The end.
Thank you for listening today.
Stay safe out there.
Join us
in the next video.
and don't get too spooked.